Thank you very much, Mr. President, and my distinguished colleagues. I am in a bit of difficulty to really understand the purport of this motion, in view of the fact that while the Constitution vests certain responsibilities to Mr. President, it equally vests the National Assembly with certain responsibilities. And if you have my permission, if I have your permission, Mr. President, I would like to read Section 83, subsection 1 and 2 of the Constitution. 83 says, the National Assembly may by law make provision for the establishment of a contingency fund for the Federation and for authorizing the President, if satisfied that there has arisen an urgent and unforeseen need to expenditure for which no other provision exists, to make advances from the fund to meet the need. 2 says, where any such advance is made in accordance with the provision of this section, a supplementary estimate shall be presented. A supplementary appropriation bill shall be introduced as soon as possible for the purpose of replacing the amount so advanced. I am aware that in the last budget, I'm sure there has been some supplementary provisions. But in view of the controversy that this has generated, my advice is that we have a committee on judiciary, legal matters. Issues of this nature can be referred to that committee. Let them look at it properly and advise the Senate on way forward on this matter. Let us not try to put this as if it is a partisan issue. The people who raise the matter, yes, politically they have right to raise the matter before the National Assembly. They are matters of concern. But we equally believe that a proper legal advice from the Committee on Judiciary and Legal Matters can suffice so that the Senate can be properly guided on this matter. That is my submission, sir.
Distinguished colleagues, I think we've taken contributions from our colleagues, and I think the contribution of the leader addresses 2 issues, and I think we must take note of that. The concerns we have, one is, as Jose Wishani said, and all of us agree, that there are security concerns in our country. And I think also we all agree at the same time that from what has been presented to us, definitely there is a breach of Constitution. The question is, what are the circumstances surrounding the breach of Constitution, and whether those circumstances justify the breach of Constitution. And I believe, because this issue, as some of you will realize, I'm sure you all remember that it was September last year, September 2017, I think it was even August 2017, we're on recess, when I got the message from the US ambassador that the Senate committee at the Congress of the United States wanted to visit us because they had got a request from President Trump to approve for payment to Tucanos, but they needed Congress approval. And Congress wanted to come to Nigeria to speak with their counterparts and we all had to come back from our vacation. And I led the team with the House of Rep members and members here. And we met the members of Congress on this issue. This was in August, September. So to give them assurance, so definitely we were aware at that time of the issues. Between September and February, with all due respect, there were ample time for the executive to have carried us along on this issue. So there are arguments for and against, and I think that these arguments are valid. I don't want us to break it down to partisan issues or partisan issues. These are not partisan issues. The suggestion of the leader that let us send it to judiciary to advise, one, whether truly, from those who are not laymen, whether the Constitution has been breached. 2, the circumstances surrounding that, whether it does in any way justify that. They will advise us, and then you come before us. And as you say, an action, then what do we do going forward in trying to even appropriate? Because the funds have already been spent. Do we go under what the leader has come under, that though the fund has been spent, you come under for it, or we start the whole process of appropriating? Because I don't think the exercise itself is what the Senate, because we endorsed it to the US Congress. It was after we agreed in September that the US Congress now went back to give approval to the executive to pay. So to their own government that they can go ahead and sell this equipment to Nigeria. So I think that what if you all agree, I'll put it that we refer the matter to the judiciary and give them a short period of time. By Tuesday, by Wednesday next week, they submitted. Tuesday next week. I beg your pardon? No, there's this. I think it's just judiciary to advise. Yes. Yeah.
Mr. President,
go ahead.
Thank you very much. Mr. President, once again, I'm Senator Matthew Rogide. Mr. President, in as much as we don't want to make this issue very contentious, I want to submit, Mr. President, that what the leader of the Senate advised, based on his argument, Mr. President, what the section he read, Section 83 of this Constitution, really does not apply at all.
Senator Matthew, wait. Senator Matthew Rogide, I'm not referring it because of Section 83. He came up. He has come up with his own interpretation of the legal action taken. I'm saying that the only best committee here that can advise us on whether an infraction has taken place, no infraction has taken place, if an infraction has taken place, is it justified for infraction have taken place, and then how do we move forward to address this anomaly, is judiciary. And let them look at it. Tuesday is the public holiday, I'm told, so by Wednesday they can bring the report back to us. So those in favor of this say aye, those against say nay. The ayes have it. Senator David, tomorrow you have by Wednesday you lay the report in along to what we've told you. All right, thank you. Leader of the Senate.